In a moment, I'm going to take you through a little mini movement practice for the hips, hip mobility, strength, and stability. And if you like this work and want to do more of it, consider joining my complete movement method course that is going to be launching soon. If you'd like to join the waitlist, the link for that is below. So you can check that out, see how this practice feels for you in your body and mind, and then maybe join us for the full course. So we're going to start here, lying on the back. And you can bend your knees, plant your feet flat on the floor. Take your arms out by your sides or over the head in cactus shape. And just take a few breaths here to settle in and just notice how you're feeling right now. Maybe noticing if there's anywhere that's speaking to you loudly. Noticing the sensation of the parts of your body in contact with the floor. Noticing the sensation of your rib cage moving as you breathe. And then we'll start moving. So open your feet nice and wide, about the distance of your mat. Eyes can stay closed. And we'll just let the knees fall left to right. So windshield wipering side to side. Breathing in and out through the nose. And letting the movement be easeful. So you're not forcing anything. You're really letting gravity do most of the work for you. You don't need to move fast. Nice and easy. And letting the breath flow naturally. And just noticing how this feels as the thigh bone is rotating in your hip socket. That's it. You might notice that the movement, the sensation starts to change subtly. And then we'll slowly start to come back towards center. Planting again, your feet flat on the floor. Now bringing your feet to more like hip distance apart. We're going to pull the pubic bone up towards the belly button, pressing the lower back down into the floor. And then we're going to send the pubic bone through the legs and arch into the lower back. And we'll just do that a few times. Pull the pubic bone up, pressing the lower back down, and then sending the pubic bone through the legs and arching into the lower back. And again, just breathing in and out through the nose. There's nothing fancy here. And seeing if you can notice now that the pelvis is moving around the heads of your thigh bones. So in the windshield wiper movement, the thigh bones are moving. And now the pelvis is moving. So it's a slightly different type of movement. Okay. And then pause somewhere in the middle in what approximates a neutral spine. So a little bit of an arch into the lower back, or a little bit of space between your lower back and the floor. We're going to hug the right knee in towards the chest and straighten the left leg out on the floor. Now I want you to keep your left leg a little bit active. We're going to press that left thigh down towards the floor, flex the left ankle, the toes point up towards the ceiling, and we hug that right leg in. You can play with the angle of that right thigh. For some people, it might be better to have the knee a little bit more off to the side or a little bit more towards the center. You find the position that feels the best for you. And then in a moment, we're going to release the arms from the leg and take our hands to the floor, but we're going to do our best to try to keep the right leg where it is. It's going to want to jump off your chest, off your stomach. You're going to try to minimize how much it does that, how much jump it does. You're going to try to use your muscles to keep it nice and close. Okay, so go ahead now, take your arms to the floor. Notice there is a bit of movement. We're trying to minimize it to the best of our ability. We're going to try to keep our left hip down on the floor. So we're going to try not to let the left side of the body move at all. We're going to take the right knee off to the right. So now the knee's pointing off to the side slightly, left hip stays heavy. We're going to try to take the knee towards the floor and the foot slightly towards the ceiling. That's going to take our hip into a bit of an external rotation. Then we're going to push through the heel to straighten out the leg so it's beside the left leg on the floor, hovering off the floor, toes pointed out to the side. And then point the toes straight up and then bring the knee to the chest. And then we'll take the knee out to the side and then try to take the knee down and the foot up, push through the heel again, straightening out the leg, and then toes to the center, knee to the chest. One more time like this, knee to the side, and then knee down, foot up, and then push through the heel and straighten out the leg. Now we're going to switch directions. So we're going to take the toes out. Then we're going to take the knee out. Then we're going to try to go knee down, foot up, and then knee to the chest, and then push through the heel to straighten out the leg. And again, toes out, knee out, knee down, foot up, knee to chest, push through the heel, straighten the leg. One more, last one, toes out, knee out, knee down, foot up, knee to chest, and then straighten the leg and release. Now let the whole leg just be heavy on the floor. You can go into the hip, the thigh, and just feel whatever sensation is there for you. Let the leg relax. And then we'll do the other side. So hugging the left leg in. Make your right leg active. So try to press that right thigh down to the floor, toes point straight up. Playing a little bit maybe with the angle of the left leg. In a moment, we're going to release the hands to the floor, but remember, we're going to try to keep the left leg where it is. So we're going to try to minimize how much it jumps off the torso. So go ahead, take your hands to the floor. Try not to let the leg jump. And then we're going to take that left knee to the side, but try not to let the right hip lift. So anchor that right hip to the floor. If the hip is lifting, just take the knee a little less to the side. Doesn't need to go too far. And then we go knee down, foot up. And then we push through the heel, straighten the leg, and then toes point up. Knee to chest, knee to the side, knee down, foot up, push through the heel, straighten the leg. One more, knee to chest, knee to the side, knee down, foot up, and then push through the heel, straighten the leg. Okay, switching directions, turn the toes out, take the knee out. Now knee down, foot up, knee to chest, push through the heel, straighten the leg, toes out, knee out, knee down, foot up, knee to chest, straighten the leg. Last time, toes out, knee out, knee down, foot up, knee to chest, straighten the leg, and release. Good. Let the whole body just be heavy and melt down into the floor. Dropping the awareness into the left hip, thigh, just noticing what sensation is there. And then when you're ready, we'll roll over to one side and we'll come up to sitting. All right, now we're going to set the legs up in what's called a 90-90 position. So both knees are bent. We try to put both knees on the floor. We're going to do this at first with our hands behind us, leaning back a little bit. We're going to try to press the front knee. This is my right knee. If you're mirroring me, it's probably your left. I'm going to try to press that knee down into the floor as I start to lift my left knee off the floor. Eventually, my right leg will have to lift and go with me, and then I'm rotating in the other direction. And I'm going to push my front knee down as I start to lift that back leg. Eventually, the front leg will have to rotate to come with me. Good. We'll do 2 more times like this. Breathing in and out through the nose, moving the hips through this range of motion. And you might find you're kind of inching yourself forward off your mat last time here. That's okay. In a moment, we'll reset ourselves on the mat. Good. Okay, so let's come back. If you moved off your mat, come back. We're going to try to do that again. You can keep your hands behind you. You could try to do this with one hand behind you, or if you want, we're going to try to do this with no hands on the floor. So I push that front knee down. I start to move my back leg, rotate through the hip. Eventually that front leg has to come with you, and you rotate to face the other side. Press that front leg down. Rotate that back hip. Move through center and facing the other side again. Press the knee down. Rotate that back leg. Both legs go with you, and you rotate other side. One more, or I should say one more now. So we'll do each side one more time. I'm inching myself off my mat. Hopefully I don't inch my way off the screen. I'm just joking. Okay. And come back to center. All right. You can straighten out your legs now. Give your legs a little rock in and out. Okay, just notice how your hips are feeling. Something's going on there. All right. Let's make our way up onto our hands and our knees. We can just do a few cat-cows. Let's do 2 cat-cows, nice and slow, just to bring a tiny bit of movement into the spine. Good. And then we'll come to neutral. Now, in this position, I want you to exhale and engage pelvic floor, deep abdominals. Take your right foot towards your buttocks, right knee towards your chest, and we're going to try to circle that right hip. A couple times in either direction. And then let's switch directions, big full circles. And then when the knee's out to the side, we're going to try to straighten the whole leg and then take the foot to the floor. So I'm just going to turn around to mirror you now. So the right leg's out to the side. And in this position, we're just going to hinge forwards and back. Forwards and back. That's it. All right. Let's come back to the front. Now we're going to exhale, tuck the tail. So I rounded my lower back. Inhale to stay there. Exhale to hinge back towards the heels. Inhale to stay. And then lift the tailbone and hinge forwards. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, stay. Exhale, hinge back. Inhale, stay. Exhale, lift the tailbone and hinge forward. So we're hinging back with the lower back rounded, and we're hinging forwards with the lower back slightly arched or in more of a neutral position. Let's do 2 more like this. Good. Coming back to center. Pausing there. You can sweep that leg back behind you, take the knee to the floor, and pause. All right, we'll take a couple cat-cows here. Just notice how it feels, if there's a difference between how the right and the left side of the spine feel now after having done that. Good. Okay, and then we're going to do the other side. So come back to neutral. Exhale, engage pelvic floor, deep abdominals. Take your left foot towards your buttocks, left knee towards your chest, circle the left hip. A couple times in either direction. And then switching directions. And then when the knee's lifted out to the side, we'll try to straighten the whole leg, take the sole of the foot to the floor. Good, I'm turning around to mirror you. So now the left leg's out to the side, foot's in line with the knee, and we hinge forwards and back. Good, breathing in and out through the nose. And now we're going to incorporate the movement of the pelvis. So exhale, tuck the tailbone, rounding the lower back. Inhale, stay. Exhale, hinge back. Inhale, stay. And then lift the tailbone and hinge forwards. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, stay. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, stay. And then lift the tailbone and hinge forwards. Let's do a few more like this. So hinging back with the lower back slightly rounded. Hinging forwards with the lower back slightly arched or in neutral. And moving on the exhalation pausing on the inhalation. Got one more, last one. Coming back to center. We'll sweep that leg back behind you, take the knee to the floor, and then we'll just take a few little mini cat-cows here. And again, notice how it feels between the left and the right side of the spine. Nice. All right, and then let's take the feet to one side and come back to sitting. We're going to come and lie down on the back again. Pausing here. Take your arms out to the sides. Feet can stay planted flat on the floor. And again, just notice the parts of the body in contact with the floor. Notice how your hips feel. The thigh bones dropping down into your hip sockets. How does your lower back feel? What is the residue that this work has left in your body and mind? And if you have a couple of minutes now to stay here resting, please take them. Know that everything is exactly as it should be. You're exactly where you need to be right now. There's nothing more important than these moments of mindfulness in your body with sensation, with your breath, as you are in this moment. And I'll see you in my next little movement clip.